Today I will be painting this pen and wash drawing, and this is the final piece of drawing, and I will show you how I did that. This is a painting from a village festival in the Lura Blue Mountain. I will show you which photo I draw it from. I was there on the last weekend, and this is the photo I took. And basically, there was a festival there for different stalls and stuff. But the rural fire service stall, which caught my attention, they had information center over there with their red umbrella and under a red roof building, so which probably looked beautiful from my end and from there. So I will paint. I will first draw with this mechanical pencil. I will not go with the process of how to draw all of these things. I won't bore you, but I will tell you this pen and Faber-Castell and Copic liner, I use those ones on top of my pencil drawing and finished up. These are water-based pen, so I finished up my pen drawing on top of that, and then I used wash and watercolor. First I will show you what color I use. I use primary colors. I didn't use anything other than those three colors, but they had both warm and cool variation over there. So you can see here I used the cadmium yellow, which is a warm yellow, and lemon willow, which is a cool yellow there. Usually I don't use these primary colors, but for today I will be using that. And this is the French ultramarine and cobalt blue and cadmium red, red light, which is warm red. And for the cool red I have alizarin crimson. That's from Winsor & Newton. And these spray bottles maybe I will be using, I don't know yet, so let's see. And the brush I will be using natural hair brushes, the sable hair brush, and for synthetic hair brush I will be using medium brush from Escoda. I will be using also some small brushes as well, and for different purpose, and I will explain you which brush to use what on my next videos. This has got a very nice point, and so it serves my purpose. And this sponge, you can see that's to control the water level on my brush. This is very important stuff when you do pen and wash or any watercolor. Okay, so let's start with the sky. Remember one thing, the sky needs to be painted as quickly as possible. I usually do not spend much time with the sky, because if I fiddle around more, the sky will look amateurish. So I will just leave some white mark over there to show, like, it's cloud or something like that. So when the sky is done, this is the first wash. So in the first wash, what I usually do, I just lay the colors over on wherever I feel like it. It doesn't matter what color, it's just base colors. You just put that one because they will dry up very lighter than you will on the second wash. You will go on those. So this is alizarin crimson, a little bit of blue mix, and I put them as a thing, and a little bit of warm yellow. I use the building color. Usually I use yellow ochre, but for today's demonstration purpose, I will use only the primary colors, as I said, so that you can see that only with these three colors you can make beautiful series of harmonious colors. And this is one of the good thing about that using of limited palette, that makes your painting beautiful. The ground, I made a little bit of warm gray, so I will not go much details about with the ground at the moment. So later on probably I will do something, a little bit of shadow, and as you can see there's a small little shadow over there, the tree shadows there. Probably I will draw that one on later on. So I'm gonna put a little bit of bluish on the left hand side, and a little bit of let's just mark wherever I feel like it, so that these are the suggestion basically, so that later on I know that, okay, where to put the darks and where to put the light colors on. These are the far away trees and foliage, so that I just put them in blue, and this cobalt blue I just use as a tint. I will not go in details about the left hand side, those people and things stuff. I'll just make some impression that there's something over there going on. My whole idea is about this red umbrella for rural fire services and the people over there with the yellow vest. So let's see how it goes. This is the cadmium red light I used. Don't worry about the water smudging and mixing up with another, because remember, this is our initial wash. This is our first wash, so nothing can go wrong in here. You just put some colors in there, like as long as the colors are a little bit closer to the actual scene, it's fine, no problem with that one, because it's gonna dry up lighter. You can change it later on. I'll just put a little bit of dark here and there. Just mixing some colors with the dark in there. Let's put some green. This green was created with the cadmium yellow and cobalt blue. Mixing with that one. I will not go with this dark at the moment. Now first put some light green color over there, and I will leave the far away foliages and trees. Let's leave it for dry now. So you can see it's dried now, and you can see the colors are really lighter than we did in the very first stage. So now we can do some dark on there now. Let me mix up some dark colors. The first I will start with the under the roof. I'll just put some a little bit dark shadow, as you can see in the picture. These darks are basically a mixture of three primary colors made this dark. I forgot to put those shadows and in the chimney and put the color on the chimney, so I'll just put some colors in there. Just put some marks so that it's just a suggestion of and put some cadmium red on the top of the window shield. I'm not following exactly what I see in the image. I'm just trying to be close as much as possible, but trying to be a little bit use my artistic licenses over here. The banners are cadmium red because these are the ones I want to highlight, and only these places the people just doing this stuff and talking or having coffee and this stuff. It's a small stop sign there, probably because this guy is trying to stop the incoming vehicle to slowing down, standing over there with the stop sign. Let's finish up these remaining of the umbrella. Just put some shadow over there, a little bit darker. Let's do some dark. What I will do, I will draw this car, the negative painting of this car. The negative painting means you don't draw on the object, rather you draw surrounding the object so that the object takes shape. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm just drawing the surrounding of the car with the foliage and trees, marking this one. The more dark I will make it, the more prominent this object will be, the car will be. Just being a little bit more careful uh, so that it shows these cars and everything fine. Let's do some foliage over there. This is the Chinese very calligraphic brush. I can abuse these one because these are very cheap brushes. I sometimes use those as a foliage over there. I'm trying to make this painting a little bit wishy-washy type of thing, not a hyper-realistic one. Just watercolorish flavor I want to put on this painting. Let's put the dark over there. I will not go into more details in this section. I just put some dark later on. Probably I will just leave those two people and put everything as dark and just mark it so that this doesn't catch their attentions. One thing to remember, your focus point, the more you draw with the caution, that will show up in your painting and people will look at there, and more you will be fast and doing it quickly, people can see there and people will quickly move their eyes from there. Now, that means if you draw some areas very fast and people eye will not stuck up in there, the people just know that, okay, this is not important stuff, okay, let's move my eyes from there to somewhere else. So let's put some more dark in over here. I'm trying to make this trees and things, stuff like with the dark and a little bit of showing up on the green stuff. Let's work on this area now. Put more dark in this foliage in here. The consistency of the color is very important. In watercolor, we most of the times what we do, we use more water than the paint, and then it gets lighter and we get frustrated. So it's not that we shouldn't use a light color. Yes, we do, but the consistency needs to be in paint and water consistency. We need to be mindful of that one. Let's do these cars under the car so that it creates some shadows in there and it looks like car is standing on the ground, not floating. I'm just trying to, I'm not mindful about what I will be painting in there, because there is nothing I did in detail. I'm just putting some mark in there. It's so that the people can think, okay, there is something's going on over here, but I'm not mindful about those on what I'm doing. I'm just putting some marks here and there, but in the same time, I'm trying to make sure that I don't put any mark that will make this painting a little bit off or something like that. So I'm careful about that one, but I'm not mindful about what mark I'm doing there. I'm just putting some dark mark in there, in the shadows and stuff, because things over there. I'm just trying to, for those people, I'm trying to do the negative painting surrounding those people. Later on, I will just put my people best in. You can see that putting those dark paint in there, these objects and everything is coming up in a shape, and it is making some sense now. Just quickly, draw these people's legs and stuff. Put some shadows in there. Not mindful about what I'm doing. I'm just making some shadows. Maybe I'll just put everything in the dark, but I don't know. I'm just doing it. Whatever looks beautiful or looks good, I will just leave there. Some shadows in here, the tree shadows. I'm just using some purple, like ultramarine blue, and with some little bit of alizarin crimson. I think some little bits and pieces so that it doesn't look very like an illustration type of thing. It looks something like painting. Make these windows dark with shadows. It is purplish and some shadows over there on the top. Some purples here and there. Yep, as I said, make this one. Otherwise, that will draw the attention. So just make these people in the shadow. So what I will do now, after this shadow, putting some purples here and there, making these things shadows, I'll need to mark the vest with a yellow color. Probably they will dry up lighter, but I will do that one later on again. They comes up as a light, I think. Yes, they look a bit lighter. I need to put some pure pigment in there. Let's draw the car first. They have some yellow and red mark on the side of the car, the rural fire service car. So I'll just finish up my yellow stuff first. I would say my accent color or here kind of yellow. They're using blue pants and yellow vest, so let's try to put something. It don't need to be perfect about those ones, as long as it from far it looks like it's the people with yellow vest and blue pants, and that's fine, no problem. Let's probably kind of we are coming to an end of this painting. What I will do, I will use some pen to make these figures a little bit obvious. So do something making them obvious so that from far it looks good. Some writings on those banners, small little signboards, and something on the ground, a little bit of mark in there. So these are random marks of my pen. These makes those pen and wash things more beautiful. The good thing about using the pen in pen and wash is if you are a beginner or even if you're a professional, these are very good on location painting. So that you don't need to worry about the color and painting is not coming up in a shape, because once you have if your paint even goes here and there with the pen, if you just draw the shape, people understands and it looks good. I will use this white gel pen sometimes to do some highlights and do some rural fire service and banners, this kind of thing. It says RFS. I'll just doing some gibberish. A little bit of highlight here and there on the little bit of on the fence, on the guys standing there, put some highlight in there and the stop symbol over there. I think I need to put some dark yellow there now. After finishing this car with the yellow mark, I need to put some pure pigment over there, I think. Otherwise, these yellows are not vibrant. I want this to be vibrant to make these things on focus. Yep, that's looking good now. You can see I'm taking the pure paint, not using the water pure paint from the tube. Let's pull it off now with those a little bit of dark. Just put some dark here and there. If something goes off, I'll just fix this one at this stage with the pen, with the pure pigment, with the highlighter and everything. I think I can call it off now. Just do some little bit of here and there, like strings and poles and mm, little bit of writings and this stuff, so that it looks a little bit of real. I think that's pretty much all. And let me know how did you like about it in the comments or wherever. And I hope you enjoyed it. And looking forward to you for next painting with me. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.